everyone, and welcome to episode 14 of Checkpoint Chat. It's a great, very cold Saturday morning. I'm here with Matty. He's looking very cold.
It's so cold. I ran this morning, so I know the pain.
I was in bed. I was cozy. It was a good time.
Well, let me tell you a story. So I haven't told you this yet. So I've moved positions in my company. I don't know if I can speak about who for yet.
I do know what happened. Yes.
Okay, but the point is that my new work hours are now from 9:30 to 6.
Hey,
which is
a long day.
Which is a very, very interesting shift of lifestyle for me. So before this, I was working from 7 in the morning to 3:30, which gives me the whole afternoon to do whatever the hell I want, sort of thing. But now I don't have to get up extra early, so I've got the whole morning. So you'd think that being me, I'd get up the crack of dawn and be productive, but
nope.
I've been sleeping in the whole week. Except for yesterday when I dragged myself out of bed and I actually went for a run. And I did it again this morning, so I'm quite chuffed.
I saw you tweeting about it. You're like, one day I'm actually going to keep the promise to myself. Because it's so easy. You get into bed at night. You're like, man, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and work out. And nope. Well, that shit does not happen.
I know, and the thing is that we had a cold front this week, so it was so hard to get out of bed. And I ran, and you're going to feed me jelly babies now, which I'm going to...
You're just going to eat jelly babies on air.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really need to get back into the swing of like working out because it's the cold. I struggle. And then it's like this combination of like trying to get away during work at lunchtime to go to gym, like...
But you did gym, though.
I went last weekend, like Sunday and Monday, and that felt really good. But yeah, during the week it's just a struggle because it's like, university and work, juggling that, and trying to find just an hour where I can get to the gym. I make a lot of excuses as well. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah,
my day's
I'm so
too full, I can't gym.
Yeah, no, I make a lot of personal excuses to myself.
Yeah, but in your defense, your day is very full.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
No, I won't. But I haven't done parkrun in like a few weeks, and it feels bad.
Remember when we used to run together?
Remember
the good old days.
But we've signed up for those races coming up.
Yeah,
soon.
the Discovery Vitality Run series? Did you get the first? You did enter the first one.
Yeah, I did. You missed out.
I couldn't anyway because I'm away. But the second one,
away. That's right.
The second one, I want to do the half marathon. It's like we're full ready.
Really?
Please add your name to the waiting list. So, but that happened to me last year as well. So
and then you got
hoping.
In.
I did get in.
I also applied for the waiting list and got in like right at the end as well.
So
I'm not doing. I think last year when I did them, I think 2 of them I did like 21Ks, and then we had the FMB run,
10K run, and then you died.
So I'm not doing that again. I'm easing into it with some 10Ks again.
I guess, are you doing like 10, 10,
yeah,
21?
I'll probably do like 10, 10, 21, and then 10 again.
That's what Lenska's doing. So smart move.
Yeah, I'm not doing 2 21s 2 weeks after one another. That's bad idea.
Yeah.
Bad idea. Unless you seem to be pretty fine with it.
I have not run more than 15Ks this year, further than 15Ks this whole year. I've been doing short runs. I know. So I haven't actually been preparing for this, but I'll be fine.
I know last year your goal was to reach 1,000 Ks by the end of the year.
Yeah,
you did that.
I actually checked. I'm on about 485 for this year, so I should be able to do it again. I need to play a little bit of catch up because we're just over halfway through the year.
It's like when you think about it, it's like there's a lot of time to do it, but when you break it down, it's like you need to average like 20 Ks.
That's 20 Ks a week. Yeah,
and that's hard. That's like 5K run 4 times.
I've slacked a bit, and then now with this whole work shift, I'm like, shit, I don't know how. I need to really, really, really motivate myself to get up in the morning and not sleep in. Because it's so easy to sleep in winter. I mean, like you said, the night before, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to run tomorrow. I'm so hyped. And then the next morning, I'm like, nope.
You get up, it's still dark. It's fucking
I know.
cold.
And I did that yesterday and I froze. And I was like, shit, I need to just breathe.
And then the last thing you want to do is like get sick as well. Like if you have this hectic work schedule and then you get sick, that's not a great
let's
time.
not do that.
So what you been playing?
I've been playing a bunch of things, but one thing we didn't talk about last week or the week before because you're away forever is Mario Tennis Aces, which is a game I was looking forward to for a very long time.
So I played it at E3 because it launched. I got review code while I was in America, so I played it a bunch there during my commutes there and reviewed it. and then you bought it at launch
Yeah,
as well.
I bought it. Yeah, It's weird because I never normally pre-download or pre-order games. I mean, I seldom do that. Unless I know I particularly want a game.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even do it for God of War.
No, I didn't, which is like, why? Why didn't I not do it for God of War? But for Mario Tennis Aces, I played the demo. So Nintendo got me. They're being very clever about releasing these demos. I mean, for a lot of the games, there's like a trial period,
Especially
whatever.
these online-focused ones.
Yeah, these online ones. So I grabbed Mario Tennis Aces just from like, I haven't played a tennis game since like Wii Tennis. Let me check it out. And I really enjoyed it. I was like, I'm going to pre-order this. I surprised myself. I was like, I don't know why I'm so keen on this game. And I did. And I pre-downloaded it. And I've been playing it since release. And I really enjoy it. I think the adventure mode's leaves a lot to be desired. Yeah, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not garbage.
It's not garbage, but it's not great.
Like,
I mean, even the writing in the game is, I know it's hard to put a good story in a Mario, but the writing is so lazy. It's like, oh, you need to progress past this point. Let's play a game of tennis and I'll let you pass.
But even then, the thing that bugs me about adventure mode is that you actually hardly play tennis.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing a lot of like mini games that involve tennis, but you're very rarely playing an actual match. And they repeat the things over and over. Like there's always those challenges like you have to keep a rally going for 200 hits.
Oh yeah, there's very little variation.
Like 400, 600, and they're annoying. They like really shit.
Yeah. I mean, and it's sad because there's a lot of room in that game. I mean, they latched on a very like light RPG, if you even want to call it that. It's like you level up and your attributes get boosted, but it's like,
could you feel the difference?
No,
like
never.
I couldn't really like tell myself that I felt faster, from the beginning to the end. Like
if you had to. Maybe if you had to start the game again now, you'd be like, whoa, it's very slow. But every time you level up, that little one of your attributes moves up like literally a millimeter. Yeah. Like, whoa, okay, I'm 0.01% better at speed now.
And it
like,
keeps telling you, it's like if you're struggling on a level, just go grind and come back when you're stronger. But it's like, I don't feel a tangible difference. So like,
it's not.
And some
really
of the
help.
Challenges are just like bullshit. Like, the rally challenges especially are just fucking crap. Because if you don't get a good first run, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because it's all to do with like, the longer the rally goes, the more bonus points you get. And as soon as you break that chain, you're just done.
Screwed. Yeah.
I don't know. What I do like is the boss fights.
Yeah, the boss fights are cool.
I think there's some hectic difficulty spikes, but the boss fights are at least interesting, which is weird when you think about this is a tennis game and they're boss fights.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't struggle during the campaign until one tennis match. It was against... Who was it against? It was on a boat. No, it was a normal tennis match against one of the characters.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. It's like...
It was a sea monster.
Yeah.
That one. Which character was it? It was so hard. I don't know. It took me really long to beat that fucking character. And you know how I ended up winning? I destroyed their record multiple times.
I think I did the exact same thing.
Because I couldn't beat them at straight tennis.
Wasn't it Koopa Trooper?
Was it Koopa Trooper?
I think it was Koopa Trooper. Yeah, I had the exact same thing. I'm like, I cannot win a point against you. Like, you're constantly returning. So I'm like, does the game want me to win by KO? Like,
yeah, I think it's a very difficult way of telling you, like, actually, the only way you're going to beat this character is if you destroy their records.
Yeah, the difficulty. So let's actually, like, backpedal, because people who don't know what Mario Tennis is, they're like, what? The fucking
it's a fighting game.
Like, Mario Tennis is a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like, it is not a tennis game. And that's because of the additions they've made to, like, special attacks. And so basically, you can run us through how, because you've played tennis games before, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so normally a tennis game, you get your power shots and your spin shots and your lobs and your dips and whatever you want to,
all the
tennis-y things. Yeah, I don't actually know tennis that. I mean, I've played tennis over the years, but I don't know all the terms that well.
Yeah, it's just like mapped on each different buttons. This one's a flat shot. This one's a slice. Like whatever.
Yeah, and I've never actually played a game in the series, so I don't know what the previous games are like.
Oh, okay.
But I do know that in this game, you build up energy while you're playing the game. So if you charge up, you've got a bit of time to build up charge on a shot, and the more you do that, the more energy you build, until you can eventually do like a power shot or special move or something. But where the the options come in is that you can use this, to, I don't know, win a point if you want. You're like, shit, I really need this point just to win this game or the set, whatever. I'm going to aim. Oh, so when you do a power shot, you can aim it anywhere in the court. And
it turns into like a first person.
Yeah, person, you can aim exactly where you want. And you can like aim it right to the back corner and make it difficult for the person to get it. Or you can aim it straight at them and you can basically break their racket. So in order to return a shot like that, you have to time it very well.
You have to because you can use your meter to kind of go into slow motion.
Yeah, you can also slow time
and then
down.
You need to time your block essentially like super, super well. Otherwise, your racket takes damage. Yeah. And if it's a special move, so when your meter's completely full, characters can do like an automatic return special move, like you can press it from wherever on the court.
Yeah.
And if you mistime a block on that shot, your racket breaks immediately. And then each character has a specific number of rackets, and if you get to the end, or if another player is able to break all of your rackets, it doesn't matter what the point score is, doesn't matter how many games have been played, what the current score is. Like, you're out, you lose, that's it. So there's another element to how to win this game.
Yeah, there's a little bit of strategy then. Do you go for straight points, or is your strategy just to like screw over the opponents and the rackets?
But that's not to say people can't play tennis, because like to build up this meter, you still need to play tennis.
You really need to play tennis, and it's tricky because you need to charge up your shot, but you need to position yourself in a place that the ball's going to come to you there, or whatever. So it's a balance of being in the right place, charging your shot as soon as the person returns it, or, just reaching it barely in time and you don't get any energy.
Because once you commit to that charging up, you can't move.
You can't move either.
Yeah. But there's also, like, if a player returns a shot to you that is defined by the game as an easy shot, like say they've returned a ball exactly where you are, so you hardly have to move, then like a star icon appears on the court. And that's where you can initiate these special shots. But also, if you charge up a shot while you're in that star, it counts as like a star return or something like that. And it's
just a really hard shot.
Yeah, it's like a really hard shot. Just because you've been given an easy out, essentially. So, what I've seen online is people using trick shots a lot. The whole like, so if someone's returning to the right of the court, I can press the right thumbstick or double tap a button, and you do like a little quick flip in the air, and you return the ball, and that's a trick shot.
Yeah, so those you can also use to build up energy, but it's also like a high risk, high reward, or
because if you miss time, you'll miss the ball and you'll lose energy because you just look like an idiot.
So like Mario's special move, for example, he does like a flip. So if you're on the left side of the court and your opponent hits to the right side, you can do a flip and return it. And if you pull it off correctly, you build up a lot of energy because the audience is like, wow, Mario just did a flip and he returned it.
And you often return it in a weird way. Like the trick shot doesn't really telegraph where you're going to return it to. So it sometimes throws them off. But playing online, there are people that exclusively use trick shots.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely crazy. And it's like, online is hard in this game.
Yeah, I saw, so a friend of mine, Adin, actually forwarded me a tweet. It's like, round 1 of online Mario Tennis Aces is like you're playing against someone who's like never played tennis in their life. And it's like round 2, literally Roger Federer or someone else, because you all of a sudden these people are really, really good. But yeah, the one thing I am disappointed about the game, but I mean, given we're in South Africa, maybe I can't really be disappointed, is that I've struggled to find any online games.
Oh, is it at all?
Yeah, so no, when the game launched, it was okay. You'd wait a couple of minutes, find the game. But I've tried like 2 or 3 times this week, and maybe it's been at weird times, but I haven't found anything.
Oh, really?
Like I'll literally say search for opponents, put my Switch down, and I sit on my phone on Twitter, Instagram, go to Facebook, and then like nothing.
This happened to me with ARMS. Like,
the same thing.
The same thing. It's just like the pool of players it was trying to match against was tiny.
Yeah.
And then because I played ARMS here before I went to the States last year, and then when I was in the States, it was like night and day. Like I'd match almost instantly.
Immediately, yeah. So I don't know if I'm assuming it tries to match you to people in your region. So I think
it's also looking at the lag as well.
Yeah, but when I say that, I think we're literally just matching against other South African players. I don't even know if we have a chance of connecting to someone in Europe. Because, it probably says like, no, sorry, your ping's like 200, even though 200 is not bad.
I mean, a game with reflexes like this.
Yeah, but even that little delay, like you're at a disadvantage, but it's still playable. I mean, we have Rocket League, for example, where there's a little bit of delay, but you can still have a lot of fun, regardless.
100%, yeah.
So I'm a bit bummed that like online play is just not. But it's possible, but it's like, I need to find people like, hey, do you mind searching for a game now? Let's play. Though when you do find a game, it's the best. It's Mario Tennis Aces is it's the absolute best because you play against a CPU, and CPUs are great, but you start
They're
figuring
predictable,
out. But when you're against a human, I've had some really, really great games, and I'm like, shit, this game is awesome. But it's just sad that they're very few and far between.
Yeah, the online component is really, really good.
Yeah, it works well as well.
I mean,
when I've matched against people, I'm assuming that there must be local players. I've had like no delay or anything. It's like I'm playing.
You can also see like as soon as you get matched, it shows you like the ping, and you have a chance to drop out. Because like I found if the ping is like red, the game's almost unplayable.
It's like and it's sometimes it tells you like no, your ping's too high. Or whatever,
so I usually drop out of games like that. But yeah, when you finally match up, it's because so many people play very differently. Like you said, there is sometimes this disparity where you can match up to someone and they are clearly very new and you just kind of like roll
you walk over them.
Yeah. And then there's players where you're like, I cannot fucking score a point against this person. But I just like the format. Like it's like a knockout tournament basically, and you have to win 5 games in a row to win that tournament. Yeah, which is neat. It's a nice way to show progression in online.
But I think locally it screws us because I actually made it to the 3rd or the 4th round, and it's like, cool, I'm going to find an opponent, and it's like, well, sorry, there's no other opponents at the 4th round that you can play against. Shit. Which is a bit. I don't know if it works like that, but I imagine it would.
I think so.
So because I mean, how else would you win a championship? You surely have to be, like, at the 3rd or 4th round,
matches
whatever.
People like all in that brackets. Yeah.
So I mean, like one day maybe I will get to the final, and it's like finding an opponent, and it just. I mean, I'm at the 3rd round. I can't even find an opponent. So
I got to the final twice during the beta and lost. I was very sad.
You should have trained harder.
It's so nerve wracking, and it's like. It's one of those things like online games I struggle to get behind because it's just like, oh, this is just, just a singular game. But when you're in this final of this fictional tournament that you can just get to by winning games, you're like, fuck my heart.
It's actually funny because I play Mario Tennis. I'm like, yo, what a chill game, man. Just gonna hit some rallies back and forth. But I've also had it the moment I joined an online game, I'm like, shit, this guy's really good. Busy hitting back and forth. And we find out I'm like sweating. I'm like, holy shit, this game is so intense, like we're having these really good rallies. And when you do have those opponents, the games, like I can't stress it enough, it works so well. Yeah. I mean, you'll have, you both have a bit of a rally trying to, catch them off guard, hitting to the corner of the court. Then you build up energy and then say, I do a power shot and I aim it to the corner of the court. I'm like, now I've got this person. But they slow down time and they return it. And then we go again. Then he does a power shot and I have to try to get that return. And you get these really long rallies sometimes, and it's just awesome. For like 1 point.
Yeah, exactly.
And after it, I'm like, holy shit, I worked so hard and I still lost that point. This game's the worst.
It's unique in that way. And I think it's really good. Like, it's really deep. And that might put off people like who've been looking for a chilled out Mario. Like there's still the mode where you can play without all this all the energy shots and whatever, but like that takes away a lot from the game, I think. But it is a complex game to get into.
Yeah. It's actually, can you still do trick shots in the simple tennis? I wonder.
I don't think so.
No. Because the thing is, when you want to play against someone new, so say I want Lenska to play the game, I made her do the tutorial, but it's almost like when I have friends over, I don't want them to have to sit and do the tutorial to understand the game. Yeah. So you almost just want to do simple because it's like, well, here you go, she has all your buttons.
These are your 3 buttons.
But then you do miss out on like those cool slow-mo moments and the trick shots.
You also have the motion control mode.
I've tried it once. I didn't really like it. I was like, I can't play like this.
It's not like if you're like, oh, they've included like a Wii tennis mode, and it's like, it's not that.
No. If they had a Wii, I think, does your character auto move?
Yes.
They do.
You're just controlling the shots.
But I don't know. Wii tennis was very special to me, I think. It worked perfectly. I played countless hours with my brother and cousins and friends, whatever, and it was just us chilling and swinging back and forth, and it worked fine. But with Mario Tennis Aces, I don't know.
It feels a bit like inaccurate as well.
Yeah,
it doesn't
feel that the same, which is weird because I think the Joy-Cons are very accurate with, the gyroscopes and their fancy tech of
It
10
just
years
seems like
on.
a missed opportunity to have that like laid back mode there,
Yeah.
So,
But otherwise, not great campaign, poor multiplayer, but I still really love the game. Like if I ever have friends over, it's literally like, grab a Joy-Con, let's play doubles.
yeah.
Which is
doubles
cool.
Is fucking insane.
It's hectic.
It's so much happening.
You can chill at the back though, and people at the net are just like whacking back and forth like, hello.
It's it's like, hey, I'm also playing. Doubles is insane. I played at the end of the campaign mode. You play a doubles with Peach and
Daisy. Oh,
Daisy. Daisy.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ,
Daisy did all the work in that game.
That end is so bad though, because like you play a match of doubles and then you win, and then you have to play another singles match. And if you lose that singles match, you have to play the doubles match again. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
I didn't know
and the
that.
doubles match is long. Like it takes forever.
It's really long.
Oh, I was so irritated.
But Daisy did all the work for me, so it's fine. But I mean, I've played doubles with Lenska. So I showed her how to play the game, and we both just played against the CPU, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
no, it's a fun game, and it's like, sports arcade games are always pretty fun. Like, there's missed opportunities in this game for sure. But the multiplayer when you match with someone is almost unrivaled.
It's really, really
so
good. Yeah, I wish I could find more multiplayer games.
It's
so I could stress
and knowing
myself.
Nintendo, they'll support this game. Like ARMS didn't do that well at launch, and they supported that for like a year and a half. So I'm keen to see what they bring to Mario Tennis Aces like over the next year.
Region select option for people like us.
Like that, or like more characters. Or speaking of which, who's your favorite character?
I like
characters all like balance, good at powerful shots, good at this, good at that.
I don't know. I'm quite fond of the tricky characters just because. So like Boo
Rosalina?
and Rosalina, they.
Is Boo a tricky shot character?
Yeah. He's way more tricky than Rosalina. I've played against so many Boos, and those serves, man, they get me every time. They just spin.
Rosalina's spins, like they kill me.
Yeah, no, I do enjoy it, but I do stick to the all-rounders as also like Mario, Luigi, Daisy, because I'm like, sometimes I just want to have a default feel, whatever.
I dig the powerful characters. I love Chain Chomp. Like,
Chain Chomp is ridiculous though. Oh my gosh, he takes up like half the screen for starters.
It's so good. And he barks every time he hits the ball back, and he balances the ball in his head because he doesn't have arms, and he holds a racket in his mouth. It's so good.
Whoever pitched that idea, I love you.
It's so good. Chain Chomp is the one character I've never seen before. Spike. Where the fuck does that guy come from?
So, you mean actually from the Mario universe? I have
never
no
seen
idea. No
that
clue.
person ever. Like,
and he's a powerful character.
Yeah, he's
I
also
have
shit
no
to
idea
play
where he came
against.
from.
Because he does this like bounce when he does a trick shot that's not fun. He also eats the ball. Like, he spits the ball out before he serves. That's just gross. That's unhygienic.
You know who's a real asshole in that game is Waluigi. I can see why he was excluded from Smash Bros. Because
it's bullshit
too
in this
OP.
game.
I played a game. So he's a defensive character, which means that he's got really long reach.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
His trick shots have long reach.
Yeah, you can't literally stand in the middle of the court and get everything, but he's got long arms. It feels like he doesn't have to move to get anything. I played an online game where someone it felt like they just charged a power shot after power shot, got their special, hit the ball at me, broke my rackets.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whoa, well, this guy's super serious now, okay? Like, point one, broke my rackets. I'm like, shit. So in online, I think you get two rackets by default. So I'm like, shit, I've got to wait for this.
Racket the whole game.
So I'm like, every time he does a power shot, I'm going to have to just like let it go or, think about it. Literally point two, rally, does his power shot. And I'd like to think I'm really good at timing the return because, I mean, I slow down time, which gives you ample opportunity to get to the ball and see it get to you and then you return. I did that. I honestly think I got it right and my racket still broke. So I lost within 2 points. Like Waluigi's bullshit. Yeah, that guy was probably laughing.
And fuck, he just annoys you. Just
and he's special, like puts a rose in his mouth. There's a little twirl.
Because Waluigi fucks, man. He's the only Mario character.
Wow.
No, Waluigi is bullshit in that game. Like, I love playing as him, but playing against him, fucking hell.
And his trick movement is awesome. He does like a little moon dance to the ball.
Yeah, he does a whole Michael Jackson thing to the ball. Yeah, no, he's a troll character.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah, screw him in Smash Bros. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to be in there.
Yeah, but Mario Tennis Aces, great game. But yeah, like just to recap, shitty campaign, sad multiplayer. I really wish I could play more, but with friends and whatever, it's fun. Would recommend.
I definitely recommend Mario Tennis, especially if you just want something different. You don't want like an action game or something, and you want a sports game that is not super serious, not like a FIFA or whatever.
Want some
it's just cool.
Waluigi bullshit in your life.
Did they ever make like a Mario baseball game? I think that'd be fucking
cool.
I
don't know. Actually, I've never seen a Mario. I mean, they've got like everything. It's like Mario Olympics, Mario Tennis, Mario Soccer, Mario.
They have Mario Soccer?
Yeah, I think Mario Strikers. I mean, I don't know if there's anything. There's been anything.
I don't think I played that.
No. But I mean, those games are generally fun. Like I look at the I mean, this is the first tennis game I've played. I'm like, that's fun.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing?
So I've been playing a game for review for GameSpot, which I can't talk about because the embargo lifts on Monday when this goes up, but at 7 a.m. American time.
So you have to wait an extra week.
We'd have to like wait on publishing this podcast. I mean, it's a game that's been out on PC for a while. It's called 20XX, and it's basically like a procedural Mega Man.
Yeah, that's
so it's
cool.
like Mega Man X, but the levels are built up procedurally. So you essentially have a infinite Mega Man.
Which
it's good.
Awesome.
It's got some problems which I'll discuss next week. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. But also just during the flights and in between things here and there, I've been bouncing between both Lumines and Hollow Knight, both of them on Switch. Both of them aren't exclusive to Switch, but I'm only playing them now that they are on Switch because they seem like the perfect portable games.
Which one are you talking about first?
So let's talk about Lumines or Lumines as you.
Okay, Lumines.
Do you know anything about Lumines?
No, but before we go on with this topic, let me tell you a story. I've seen both these games out now, and I think like you've been talking about them, and on Twitter everyone's like, "Wow, Lumines is out, hallelujah!" And then Hollow Knight, I know, is just been getting rave reviews since it came out. When did it come out on PC? Last year?
Last year, yeah. It's been a while coming to Switch now.
Yeah. So I put up a poll, and it's like, which one do I buy? And it is probably the first time I've ever put a poll like that up. I'm like, I should just buy both of them.
You really should just buy both of them.
And you told me, like, just buy both of them.
Because they're both cheap as well.
They are. Hollow Knight's even, like,
Hollow
not
Knight's
to be
like
funny, but I
$160.
thought Hollow Knight would be more expensive. It's cheaper.
I also thought so.
And
Lumines is like
$200, which again, that's not expensive, but I'm like, well, maybe I should just buy both of them. I just thought it was funny though. It's one of those few moments I'm like, why am I even putting a poll up? I should just buy both of them. Yeah.
No, as soon as Hollow Knight, because Hollow Knight launched during the E3 Direct, and I seriously just logged on straight away and it was like $160. I was like, fuck yes.
I've got some gold coins. So I think. Wait, how many gold coins you get from the Mario? You didn't buy Mario Tennis on no. I got 150 gold coins from that. So
that sounds like double what you should have got.
Yeah, because when you it had a order bonus, you get double gold coins.
Because you normally get 10%.
Okay, so I'll get a discounts on both of them of like $70, I presume.
Yeah.
So I can get both of them for, let's do some quick maths, like $280. Which is worth it. But anyways, tell me about Lumines. I've watched a video about it, and I know it's like Tetris, but it's not really Tetris at all.
Yeah, it's like Tetris. So I don't like Tetris.
You don't like, you monster. You like you're the 0.01%.
It's like it's like this weird thing for someone who studied game design to say that they hate Tetris, which is widely considered one of the most perfect games ever created, and it is. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's like, I just don't like playing it. Because I'm fucking bad at it.
You're just a monster.
I'm bad at Tetris. I don't feel like I get better when I play it. And the music annoys me.
The music annoys you? What?
It's terrible.
I can even hear it in my head right now.
I know, it's horrible. It's terrible. I hate it. God, no. We had someone in when I was doing VAC work, they flashed a Raspberry Pi and, got a bunch of ROMs on there and they had classic Tetris on there. Fuck, man.
And then the music came on, you're like, no!
Yeah, they
flip
just
the
plugged
table.
it into like the sound system of The Office, playing that whole thing. Like, nah, man.
Did people break it down, like start breakdancing to Tetris?
Oh, good lord.
That'd be awesome.
Fuck. So, Lumines is a Tetris game, but it's a Tetris game I can totally get behind for two reasons. First, it's got fucking awesome music.
So not the Tetris theme.
Not the Tetris theme. And secondly, it's a different take on how Tetris works. So, essentially, you have a board, and that board has a particular skin, and the skins are basically like the music that's playing behind, and the music kind of controls the rhythm of the stage you're playing. And what you're meant to do in Lumines is create blocks of colors. So you're not trying to just create a single row of color or a single row complete at the bottom. You're trying to get blocks of 4 in orange, or blocks of 8 in white, or stuff like that. And then you've got a line that kind of scrolls through the screen according to the music. And if that line passes over a 4-block square combination you've made, it wipes it out from the board. So you have this opportunity to kind of strategize and think about, okay, if I place this block here, this is going to create a combination. And when the line crosses over that, these 2 blocks are going to fall and create another combination. You can start chaining these things together. And it's not that difficult. Like, I'm not super good at it, but I still feel like I progress pretty well and I have a lot of fun with it. And when you pull off like these massive chains and you just see like a bunch of blocks explode as this line goes over them, it's super satisfying. But the music is really what gets it.
Do the explosions time with the music at all, or is it just
no?
Okay.
Well, the line is basically going according
in
to
time
the
with
tempo,
okay.
So like the music is just really good because your drops and your combos kind of like stay in tune with the beat. And especially on Nintendo Switch, they've done a lot of work with the HD Rumble to have the music like vibrate really nicely with the Joy-Con.
Feel the music.
Yeah, you can literally feel the music. Like, it's a bit intense, the vibration sometimes, and it makes a lot of noise. But it just adds so much to the game that you don't get on like a standard controller or playing on PC, because the game's out on PC and other consoles now. But yeah, it's cool. There's like a bunch of modes. There's a puzzle mode where it's like you're given a scenario and it's like solve this scenario in 1 move. Solve it in 2 moves, something like that. So that helps teach you about weird combinations and how to think outside the box. And it's just challenging. But the survival mode is where it's at. Like, you just playing, and when a song finishes, the skin changes, so the colors of the blocks change, and the song changes, and the tempo changes, and it's just like, it's a nice like progression through.
Is it an endless run mode almost?
Yeah. That survival mode's like an endless run mode. Then you can do like a score attack where you have a set amount of time and you're just trying to get the highest score in that time. There's a custom skin mode where you can choose which tracks you want to play and exclude the ones that you don't want. What else is there? Is there multiplayer in this one? There used to be multiplayer in one of the ones I played. It was almost like an attack.
I imagine there would be multiplayer.
I can't remember if there's one in this one, because this is a remaster of the first one. And the first one came out on Vita.
Rest in peace, Vita.
No, Lumines deserves to be played on a portable platform.
Yeah.
Like, 100% played at fucking 4K on your Xbox or PlayStation. But this is a game where you're like, I have half an hour to kill. I'm just going to play a round of... Because the survival round usually lasts around 20, 25 minutes, depending on how good you are. Most people probably have double that because I'm just not as good. But it's fun. Like, it's a Tetris game that I 100% get behind, but the music gets me. It's just so good.
That's cool.
It's like cool electro synth, and it's all original soundtrack.
Sold.
Yeah, it's for $200. It's a fucking steal.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And even if you don't like Tetris like me, like, you should give it a go, because it's more a puzzle game than a Tetris game.
Well, it's not a problem many people have.
Yeah, it's
you're
like
the only person who hates. You're the only person who hates
Tetris.
I speak shit. I don't hate Tetris, but I'm not like the biggest Tetris fan. Yeah, I'm definitely keen to pick Lumines.
Lumines, yeah.
Lumines up.
Lumines.
Lumines. It sounds like a lot of fun. I've watched 1 or 2 gameplay videos, and it looks beautiful. Like, in terms of, it's not like cutting edge visuals, but it's very like, I don't know, therapeutic to watch the bright colors.
There's a lot of like effects happening at one time. It's like a sensory overload. There's a weird mode on Switch where you can actually connect 2 additional Joy-Con that you're not using and get them to vibrate according to the music. So you can just put them in your pockets and then you really feel the music.
That's next level. I've got 6 Joy-Cons. Can I put 2 in my pocket? 2 in, like, I don't know, my sleeves, in my afro? You
Give
really
yourself
feel
a head
the-
massage.
Oh,
you
man.
you lie in them while like on a pillow playing the game. You just give yourself a
Oh,
massage.
man. It sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, Luminous is great. It's $200. Like,
When did the first one come out? So I know it came out on Vita, but
I
it
think
was
it was
like...
a launch title for the Vita.
really?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And back then it was published by Ubisoft.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
If I'm not mistaken, it was. Let me actually check.
It's funny though, because this game is something that I don't know. When you sell it to me like that, I'm like, cool, it sounds interesting. But the way people talk about it, when Lumines Remastered was announced and coming to Switch, people were like, oh my god, like release now. I need it in my life right now. Like it's that good.
Yeah, Lumines first one, it was called Lumines Puzzle Fusion, came out in 2004 on the PSP. Not the Vita.
Jeez, like.
That's where I'm getting confused. There was a version for Vita that launched with the Vita, but it wasn't the first one.
Okay. 2004.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that, was published by Ubisoft. So its designer is Tetsuya Mizuguchi. I think that's how you say it. Tetsuya Mizuguchi. He did Rez. And he's doing Tetris Effect, which is coming out.
Oh,
that weird VR.
You'll hate it.
yeah, fucking Tetris Effect. So, like, if you ever loved Rez, this is the dude that has designed all these weird, like he did Child of Eden as well, stuff like that. So, it's very much that type of game, very musically focused and very effects heavy, but Luminous is fucking awesome.
Bam.
Yeah.
Sold. Go buy it immediately.
Then I've been playing Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight. Now,
great.
I've also watched a video on Hollow Knight, and she's like, I need to play this game. It looks really good, like proper old school Metroidvania, everything. Yes. And geez, you've played it before Switch? No, so it's your first time playing it as well.
But I was like, I'm waiting for this game on Switch, and then I waited. And
I've heard that this game it can take you 30 to 40 hours to finish.
Yes.
Holy moly, that is long.
I saw. I mean, you can do it in like 20.
Yeah, you can do. You can skip a lot of the side stuff.
Game, so I've only played like 3 or 4 hours. So I'm like hardly anywhere. I've only found one additional power so far. But the game is just like, it's really beautiful. It's like in this weird gothic insect world, like you're all playing as insects. You like fight like big ass mosquitoes, and there's your fast travel is just
that sounds difficult.
That burrows around. Like you actually get attached to your fast travel system because he's so cute. Because you kind of like ring a bell, and then this like fucking beetle just comes and you get on his back. And
that's like
fast travel.
That's like Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah,
that one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
There's one part you get on that massive creature and you get transported through tunnels.
Yeah, you get like attached to your fast travel system.
Man, that's cool.
But I think what really... So, firstly, it is a Metroidvania.
Souls.
I've never in my life felt more lost in a game than in Hollow Knight, because I'm just like... I'm transitioning between screens and then entering new areas, and I'm like, man, I remember getting stuck at a fork and going left and saying, oh, I'll come back right. And that was like an hour ago. Like, I just carried on going down this path. Like, there's
a lot to do.
There's a lot. It's a bit frustrating, the map system, because you have to buy maps for areas, and then when you buy a map... It doesn't tell you where you are on that map until you have a specific item.
Okay.
So, like, you can look at the map and try and figure out where you are. And to me, it just feels counterintuitive to, like, exploration. But the whole aim of the game is just to kind of, like, get lost. And just, if you get to an instance, you're like, I very clearly need something to get past here that I don't have. Let me try a different route,
That's cool.
But the game is also like brutally difficult.
Is it the Dark Souls of Metroidvania games?
It's not a Dark Souls. Like it's difficult, but it's like the combat is you basically attack in one of the 4 cardinal directions, and you've just got a basic attack. And whenever you attack enemies, you get like this energy. I don't know if it's actually called souls or whatever, but it's like this energy that pulls up in this container, and then that container powers either your abilities or your ability to heal. So at the beginning of the game, there's no question. You hold down a button and it starts draining your energy, and for every little bit that it drains, it restores a little pip of life.
Okay.
So healing is a dangerous thing because you can't do it in the middle of battle because they'll attack you, whatever. Yeah. But then later on, like I've got an ability now where I can shoot like this energy ball that uses the same resource that I would use to heal myself. So it becomes like this balancing game of like, what do I do? Some enemies can only be hurt by this ability, but I've also got like one thing of health. And when you die, you go back to your last like resting point.
Your last campfire.
Yeah, essentially, it's like a bench where you just sit on in your
It
rest.
is Dark Souls.
And then you have to go back to where you died and fight like a dark image of yourself. And when you kill it, then you get all your currency back. So that in a sense is like Dark Souls. And if you die before you get there or that thing kills you, then you lose.
So you tell me you accumulate souls.
Yes.
So it's Dark
and it's very dark.
This is such a Dark Souls ripoff. Dark Souls should sue this company. No, I'm kidding.
But as well.
Oh no, no, but it does sound awesome.
It's fucking good.
Yeah, I need to pick it up. And just the idea of like, I'm an old school gamer and that I do appreciate a certain ceiling of difficulty. And I do get a kick out of like, you know, overcoming. I mean, as an example, I was playing God of War last night and I spent 45 minutes on one of the challenges in Misselheim.
Isn't it
the fireplace?
Muspelheim, yeah. I think it's Muspelheim.
I spent 45 minutes.
The combat challenges.
Yeah, I spent 45 minutes on a challenge, and instead of like, yeah, it's frustrating when I've beat it, I was like, that is worth the effort.
Some of those challenges are fucking bullshit.
I know,
though.
but I mean, I've heard Hollow Knight is very challenging, and I'm like, cool.
But again, it's not brutally difficult.
Yeah, like reasonable difficult.
It's challenging. Like you get punished for
being stupid,
like reaching further than your grasp.
Yeah.
You know, you want to tango with like a bunch of enemies at once, you're gonna fucking die. Like,
are you dancing in this game?
Yeah,
like, can we dance? And the enemy's like, kill him.
There's some great platforming sections as well. It took me a while to get used to the jump because it's like a very strict jump. Like you hold down the jump button for a further jump and you tap it for like a small jump. But it feels a bit weird. Like the platforming is not the best part of the game. But once you get used to it, it's fine. The combat's just really good.
Yeah.
And just exploration, just like wandering around and going, oh, what's here? Oh, here's, you know, this secret area with all these resources that, you know, I kind of need to buy this item in the shop back in the main town. Like, it's just really fun.
So it's got a good loop. Do you level up in this game, or is it not XP based? You just get abilities and
you get abilities based on like finding them.
Okay, and I presume like you might get an item that gives you more health or something.
You can buy. You can like either find like quarters of an item, and when you get all four, then you get a new health pip, or you can buy an item in a store that gives you that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can buy items that like increase the number of like energy or souls you can hold, or like how much you need to refill a pip of health, or additions to like your map, your compass, stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's good to always like revisit the main town, because at any point you can die and lose all your cash. So yeah.
As a matter of interest, have you played Symphony of the Night at all?
No, not yet.
No. Man, that is the Castlevania game.
Do you know I bought it on Vita and just never played it?
Well, I mean, here I am judging you like I played it decades ago. I only played it last year on my Vita.
But you loved it. I remember.
It was really good. I actually played that. Did I not play that on the way to East? No,
you were playing Risk of Rain.
I played it. I was sort of playing it on one of the trips, and I know I put a lot of time to it, and I finished it. I'm like, shit, I get why people love this game. But the reason I asked if Hollow Knight has like leveling up and stuff, because Symphony of the Night does have like a very light leveling up system, and obviously items, whatever. But yeah, no, it sounds awesome.
I need to play Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, that's like man, what a great game.
Maybe I'll come steal you. But anyways, I don't have a Vita anymore. So
you don't have a we. Hey Tetris, sold your Vita. You've changed in San Francisco.
I'll come steal it. I need to steal your what?
Wait, you need for Crisis Core. You need my PSP.
So I need to steal both your PSPs.
Both the PSPs. Oh man, I'll never sell those. Those like I'm not hanging on to old consoles. Like I say that I've still got my PS3, but like I've still got my original DS and my PSP, and those are like little consoles you can just keep there and I pull out, every now and then. But yeah, anyways. So Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, good. $160 on Switch.
That is so worth it, man.
$160 for a game that will give you like 20 to 30 hours of content.
I mean, I looked it up. When was it? I suppose it was this week. I looked it up and then I was shocked. I was like, I can't believe this game's this cheap.
It seems way too cheap for what you get.
Because I'd watched a review video or something of it, and I was like, "Oh shit, looks cool." Look it up. $160. Like, wow, that's
a phenomenal game. And I think they just passed 1 million sales on PC. But I think Switch is where it's going to.
Oh yeah, Switch. It'll fly.
Really go.
It'll sell like hotcakes.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm a big fan. You need a certain mindset to get into it, because it's just like Dark Souls, where you need to be in that mood.
Yeah.
It's not a game you play for half an hour at a time, I don't think.
Oh, do you need to play for long?
No, you don't need to, but it feels like if you play for half an hour, you don't really make progress. You know what I mean? But I played it a bunch on the plane, and it was good. It was really good.
I wonder if people can hear me chewing my jelly baby.
On the microphone. If they could hear you trying to stealthily grab one from the bag.
I like hold the bag away, like people won't hear the crinkling noise. I'm like that guy at the movie where, they're trying to open something, they're like trying to be very quiet,
and you end up making more noise.
But they spend like an hour like
just trying to find the edge.
Hang on,
Just
I've nearly got it.
I've nearly got it.
Okay, That's all we've played this week.
Yeah, so so let's look at game releases real quick.
We won't talk about it today, but I'd love to talk about God of War now that I finished it at some point.
We should do let's do that next week. What we did with the Witcher. Like a big ass spoiler cast for that thing.
Oh my gosh, that game. So good.
Let's see.
This is a PSA while Alessandro looks up gaming releases. If you have a PS4, you should play God of War.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It is really good. It is, believe the hype, man.
So let's just go over real quick some ones we missed last week because we were talking about E3. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy came out on Switch, Xbox One, and PC.
Another game I need to pick up.
It also got updated on PS4 with some brand new levels that Vicarious Visions made, and HDR support if that's your thing. The Crew 2 came out. Apparently, it's not good.
You mean to tell me that a game where you can be a car and change into a plane and into a boat
is not good? Transformers the game.
That game just didn't sell to me. I mean, I'm not a big racing fan generally, but when I realized that is the core mechanic, right? You can sort of like change on the fly.
Yeah, I remember when they first announced it, it was like this, like an RPG racer, like you had like fights during races and shit like that, and the whole idea was like this MMO style gameplay where you would create a crew with other people, and they've kind of moved away from that, and to me it just seems like Ubisoft's take on like Forza Horizon's formula, except it's not as good.
It's not as good.
Yeah, it just feels hollow, like there's not much to do in that game.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious when they like, you can be driving and you can turn into a plane and then you can fly over water and turn into boats. I'm like, that sounds awesome, like once. Never again. So yeah, that's out.
So that's out. Wolfenstein New Colossus
on
Wolfenstein 2
Switch.
New Colossus came out on Switch.
Nice.
Then just this past week we had Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered. Red Faction Guerrilla is that like action game on Mars.
I thought you were going to say Red Dead Redemption. It's like too soon, man. Too soon.
No. So it's like an action game on Mars. The coolest thing about that game is like every building can be destroyed, so you just run at it with a hammer.
Yeah, that was I remember, what game is that in the series now?
I think the second one.
Oh, is it a remaster?
Yeah, this is a remaster, yeah.
I remember when that game launched however many years ago, the first one, the whole thing was like completely destructible environment.
Destroy everything.
And then like now it's like, yeah, most games have that, but
it's kind of cool though, because you can like run at a door with your hammer, break down the wall, and all the enemies are like, "What the fuck?
How did he do that?"
Yeah, how did he do that? So yeah, that's neat. There's a game on Switch called Mushroom Wars 2.
Oh, is that like
Mushroom Wars 1?
Yeah, man, great game. It's like Drug Wars, but you sell mushrooms only. I don't know what that game is.
Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr. I have no idea what that is.
I know what that is. I saw that at E3.
What
2
type
years
of game
ago.
is it?
I think it's
strategy game?
I think it's a shooter.
You mean like Vermintide?
Yeah. I think it's literally like that, but it's set in... Well, Vermintide is set in that universe, right?
Not in 40k. It's set in old school Warhammer.
Oh, okay. It's just that whole world is just...
And Vermintide 2 is fucking
over
great.
my head.
It's like Left 4 Dead.
I honestly think it's like those two games where it's a team class-based shooter-esque survive against lots of enemies thing. I could be wrong.
If you're wrong, then...
I'm so sorry if I'm wrong. I think it is that.
20XX, which I'm reviewing, that's out on Switch.
Spoiler alert.
On the 10th of July. Out on Switch and PS4 on 10th of July, and then a day later on Xbox One. Then we've got Moto XGP Pro. Do you like motorbikes?
Nope.
Nah, it's fun.
Meh.
Shining Resonance Refrain.
Wow.
That sounds like a JRPG.
I've been waiting for that game since never.
That sounds like a JRPG. This week's actually packed. So we've got Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on July 13th. So
That's
Friday.
actually cool.
Super keen for that.
Yeah.
Did you play the demo?
I didn't play the demo. I saw you play the demo.
Yeah, it's like
I need to play that game.
it's like you've just got like a world that is like a 3D cube.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's just like you're trying to make your way from point A to point B, but there's little puzzles in between. It's neat. It's fun.
That was ripped. I mean, not ripped off, but that featured in which Mario game was it? It was like a mini game in a
3D
Mario.
World?
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh, was it
3D
3D World?
World,
Okay,
yeah.
and they've turned it into a standalone game.
Essentially
which is
that.
quite
Yeah,
cool.
it came out on Wii U, so this is a re-release on Switch and 3DS, but it's got some additional levels from Mario Odyssey. So.
Oh, Tony.
Then we've got Earthfall, which is another Left 4 Dead-ish shooter with aliens. I played it at E3. It's fine.
Fan.
It's totally fine.
Is it fan or is it fan?
It's
Fawn.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's Joe Big Fawn.
Hotel Transylvania 3, Monsters Overboard.
Oh,
based on the movie.
Movie time.
Yeah.
How are movie-based games going these days? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Then the biggest one, Octopath Traveler.
Oh, is that out this week?
That's out this Friday.
What?
I saw
Oh my
some
gosh, that
previews,
is too soon.
Saw some previews go up. A lot of press have played like 20, 30 hours already. Mixed things.
Is it mixed? Don't tell me that.
Mixed.
I have such high hopes for this game.
The combat is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, the combat's great. But there's some weird inconsistencies with the story. Like, you have these 8 characters that you're going to have to each play as, because like they eventually they
merge
have their own
together,
stories and they merge. But right now, when you talk to other characters, even though you have a party of like say 6 characters, only your main character will be recognized. Like the people you speak to don't acknowledge the rest of your party.
Oh, no.
So inter-character chat is like almost non-existent. So it makes the story very weird because
That's bizarre.
Like Jason Schreier from Kotaku was like, I have all these characters, but they're not like talking. They're not interacting with one another. They're just kind of there.
They're just there.
Yeah,
Oh, no, that's
and-
not cool.
So yeah, and apparently the beginning of the game feels a bit of a slog because you have to switch like from one character to the other, and the first act for each of the characters is kind of identical in structure. So you're playing the same structured story
8 times.
But apparently the combat is
It's phenomenal.
so special.
I enjoyed the combat. I mean, just from that demo alone, I thought it was really cool. But there I was playing 2 characters, and so I would never pick up on these other
I think
but-
you're a big fan of Final Fantasy games,
Yeah,
and
I'll
especially
probably-
like Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah, that's one thing I've seen. I think it was...
They say the designers said it's a spiritual successor.
Yeah, so-
a lot of writers have been like, it doesn't really feel like 6.
doesn't
but
feel
that's
like one,
fine.
yeah. But I think it is Jared Petty from on a Kind of Funny Gamecast. He was saying he's playing it, and one thing that always tells me is that he said is like it feels like a modern day Final Fantasy 6. I'm like sold. I need to play it, but with Lumines and Hollow Knight on the horizon, I don't know. Maybe let me see what the reviews are like, and maybe I'll pick it up in a few months.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you'll play it, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. I mean, I didn't like the demo, but it's not my type.
But you hate Tetris, so your opinion doesn't
Tetris,
count.
I hate Final Fantasy 6. So,
and Rust. Oh my
Rust,
god,
yeah,
yes,
fuck Rust.
all these great games.
That's all that's out this week. There's a bunch of stuff coming out later this month. Lots of cool stuff. Let's get into news. Anything news-wise you saw tickled your fancy?
Didn't tickle my fancy, but I did pick up. Wait, let me just timestamp this quickly.
So the one bit of news that I do know off the top of my head is
gaming news.
my good friends.
Oh yes,
Ben and Shakir of the South African studio Nyamakop. They finally gave a release date for their first game, Semblance. So Semblance, if you don't know, is this like... They describe it as a Play-Doh platformer, which is probably the best way to describe it. You're in a world that is able to be kind of deformed and changed according to what you need it to be. So as your character, you can do these like sprints into the walls and like completely dent the wall and create divots to like create a ladder up to an area or move a piece of land so that it blocks a laser that would otherwise kill you or something. So it's this platformer where your world isn't static, it's completely changeable.
It looks awesome.
Looks great.
I mean, even like mechanics aside, visually it looks awesome. And I've never watched any trailers. Okay, wait, here's the thing. I remember seeing this game with you at Rage, I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah, they've been working on it.
It was a long
while.
time ago.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like, yeah, this game looks awesome. Now it's finally out, and I haven't watched any trailers until, what is it, like the launch trailer?
Yeah,
or just
it's
like
the launch trailer, yeah.
I was like, shit, even the soundtrack sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good on
The
them.
game's changed drastically. Like, it used to be about just changing the shape of your protagonist and using that in puzzles. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Shakir, when he was busy coding something, he came across a bug where the character would, like, deform the world.
No way.
And that's where they got their mechanic.
I love gaming stories like that. It's
Yeah.
like we found a bug and then like, well, we
Turned it
thought,
into a
shit, that's
feature.
a really cool feature. Let's just work on that. And that's basically what the whole game's. I mean, obviously you can deform your character, but one of the big other mechanics of the game is the fact that you shape the world around you. So that's cool.
The big thing is that it's coming
To
launching on Switch.
First
on
South
the
African Switch
24th
game.
Yeah, first South African Switch game.
Man, that's
It's
awesome.
launching on the 24th of July, and it's out on PC and Mac the same day.
Yes, keen. I'm very keen. And
Very keen.
it's been building up really cool interest internationally as well. Like,
Yes,
been a
yeah.
couple of articles.
Lots
I know
of- lots of
you
great
retweeted
articles.
one from, was it Polygon?
Yeah,
or
Polygon has
someone?
written about them, Engadget, Rock Paper Shotgun. They won an award at a
yes.
expo in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, or
That's
they're
awesome.
nominated for one there. They were at E3 this year.
And I read an
been
interview
doing
with
well.
them somewhere. Maybe it was one of those
I think it was
articles you
Engadget did a
shared.
big one.
Where
yeah.
they were saying they've basically just been traveling for
Yeah.
like non-stop, and like money's sort of been tied to the point of like, we don't actually know if we're going to make it to that destination, for example, but they've always just like managed to pull through. And
I think that's
other
what they've done
games-
well, is just going to all these expos and
Yeah,
getting it in
I
front
think
of
it's
people's
important,
faces. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm
launching
excited.
soon. Hope that
Excited
does
for them.
well.
Okay, let's scroll through news. News after E3 is always a bit of a...
It's great.
Yeah.
It's like a great time. There's just so much stuff.
EA showed off 20 minutes of... Well, they
Oh,
basically
of
released
Anthem,
the 20
yeah.
minutes of the Anthem demo
You
from
guys
E3.
didn't have a session at E3, hey?
No, we never got hands-on, unfortunately. And I know a lot of people who did get hands-on, they were very convinced by the game. So
From that session.
Yeah, from that session. So this session is basically what they've released now, and it looks pretty good.
I haven't watched it yet.
It looks nice. There's a lot more, jetpacks and stuff like that. They kind of describe some of the classes a bit better, and the action looks tight. Like Anthem, I think you know what you're getting into. There's no illusion as to what EA is trying to make this game into.
Yeah.
It's just
Destiny,
going
Iron
to
Man.
like I'm keen to see more locales, because we've seen this like jungle thing for a long time now, and I want to see a bit more of the story and stuff like that. And I'm interested in it, but we'll
I'm
see.
keen to see how it reviews and how people respond to it.
Yeah.
It's out February next year.
February 22nd.
The D-Day with, with all these other big
Metro,
games.
Crackdown, and Days Gone.
Oh, man.
God. Let's see what else there is.
All of the things.
Oh,
The only
Destiny
thing,
stuff.
the only thing I saw this week, which I picked up on Twitter, was this whole Guild Wars developer
Yes,
drama.
So we can talk about that, because
Do we really want to talk about it? Didn't you write about it?
No, because it happened yesterday, and I only picked up on it during the morning, and by then I'd already written my stuff. So essentially, what happened was, let me find an article before I start.
What happened is this, and then we get labeled like, "Oh, you guys don't know."
Before I start like making claims that are just wrong. So essentially, Guild Wars 2 developers ArenaNet fired two of its developers following like a disagreement they had with a streamer online. The developers in question were a narrative designer, Jessica Price, and also narrative designer Peter Fries. Peter Fries had ArenaNet for 12 years now, so not a new face around there. So essentially, what happened was a very popular streamer of Guild Wars 2, who's actually affiliated with ArenaNet, he got into a discussion with Price on Twitter about narrative structures and what could be done better in Guild Wars 2 with regards to that. Price didn't take this super well. Being a woman in the games industry, I think they're exposed a lot of the time to, firstly, more vitriol than men, just purely because they're women, and also people not believing in their abilities and trying essentially how to tell them to do their job.
Yeah.
So the streamer in question, what was his name? DeRoyer? Now, people might disagree with me on this, but I don't think his response to Price was condescending or bad, essentially. He was like, I'm going to slightly disagree, and here's what I would do. Price took it as a, hey, here's this dude telling me, a woman, how to do my job.
Yeah.
And I don't begrudge her for having that response because, like, fuck
happens,
knows how many times is that has happened in her career. So she went off at him basically with a tweet saying, today, being a female game dev, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job, which is, at essence what was happening. Reddit and co got hold of this, started making, there was Reddit threads about this, whatever. Peter Fries, the other narrative designer, came to Price's defense, and the result of this was ArenaNet essentially very publicly terminating their employment at the company. And that led to some fucking shit. Like, so firstly, the streamer, DeRoyer, whatever, he came out and said, hey, this was so not what he wanted to happen. He just wanted to have a dialogue, a discussion. And this like blew up in a way that he wasn't exactly seeking. But it led to some pretty nasty comments on Reddit with regards to players saying, hey, look, no one's job at the studio is safe. We cannot control who works there, who gets fired.
I actually have the one post that's been making its round. So my friend Adian, he actually he didn't really ask a question, but he just said, could we touch on this story, we'll give a comment on it. And he shared this post with me. So the Reddit thread reads, even better, we can probably fire anyone on the Guild Wars 2 dev team as long as we make a big enough stink. Nobody at ArenaNet is safe from the hand of Reddit. I mean, that's the opening paragraph.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean, and it goes on, and then it ends with, talk shit, stop smiling or do a bad job, lose your job. That's how it works at my dad's restaurant. A job isn't a right, it's an offer, and it can be rescinded at the drop of a hat. I'm like, yeah, it can, but this is a bit, like way too much. No one outside of ArenaNet should have that sort of, I mean, I don't know. I think it is handled a bit
weird. Yeah, ArenaNet seems to have handled this just super badly. Like,
I really think it was an overreaction.
Yeah, very publicly saying, "Hey, we heard your feedback. We've just fired these people."
Yeah.
And just like instead of that, like, mediating with them and maybe internally talking to them, saying, "Hey, these are members of our community. Either ignore it or."
Yeah.
Or don't engage.
This is a sort of thing that you get a hearing or something.
Exactly.
To just be like, this is what happened.
You don't get fired. And like Price added, The Verge has a good article on this, but she basically added, she said, like, the next rando asshat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me as if, having worked in game narrative for a fucking decade, I've never heard of it, is getting blocked. Like, that is the background she's coming from. Like, hey, I've got this experience. There are these people online that are trying to explain to me simple concepts like I know nothing and trying to tell me how to do my job. And that is fucking frustrating.
Yeah.
That is like, if I was a writer and after every article someone was like, you didn't write this, you didn't do that, you didn't do that. It's like...
you use the wrong adjectives.
There's a reason, you know what I mean? So, her response to the streamer may have been better.
Yeah.
But I think, being the head of a games company or a CEO, you need to be 100% aware of the other side of the coin. This is happening daily to your employees. They're being harassed online, possibly. They're being told how to do their jobs in a very public manner in a space. Like, you can't just ignore that and look at this single instance and say, well, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
So it's a shit thing all round, and ArenaNet handled it extremely poorly, and I don't think it's the last we'll hear of this.
I'm disappointed by their response, and just so like Reddit and the internet at large, people like celebrating like, we got these people fired. It's like, you've just screwed over two people. They don't have jobs now.
Yeah, you've destroyed their jobs.
Bad exchange. Like, really?
Yeah, for a bad, and you see, and just from that Reddit comment. You
just
see the
that's
kind
one
of like
comment,
empowerment they feel like. They're like, we are the people in charge of this. We just need to rile people up, and then we can
get fired,
people. You know, and that's not how companies should run. That's not how communities should view the companies that they support either. Yeah. It's just shit. This just reminds me of the whole Gamergate crap all over
2.0.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So
there's that story. There you go, Adian. Thanks for ruining the positivity of this podcast.
Nah, but it's good to talk about it. But it's like, what a. I thought we were past this sort of bullshit. But anyway, looking at more stuff. We Happy Few no longer banned in Australia.
Hooray!
If you're a listener from Australia, you get to play the drug-fueled violent We Happy Few. Yeah. Did you ever play A Way Out?
No, but I did remember seeing something on it. Can you play that split screen? You can, I think.
Yes.
I think you can.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should maybe pick it up for Lens at some stage.
I think you can. Or if it's only online, I'm not sure.
I think it did surprisingly well. I mean, I say surprising not because I had doubts about the game. I just think the moment you have a cooperative game, like that game can only be played cooperatively. You literally can't even play with AI or anything. Like, I don't know, it's tricky to pull off, I guess.
I think it's an interesting...
Yeah, no, it is interesting. Yeah. But you need to, like, commit with someone, you know?
It's more effort than, like, I'm going to sit down and just play this game.
Like, I'm going to have a quick game of Fortnite with you. You have to, like, okay, are you ready to commit to this narrative game together?
Yes.
You know? So, yeah, it did well.
But apparently it's interesting. Yeah, it sold very well. And the creative director, Joseph Fares, has basically said that their working relationship with EA is very good, and they are happy with the support the publisher is giving, and they are already working on a new project, and EA will publish that project.
Is it A Way Out too? They mustn't go the Prison Break route. We broke out of prison, but we're going to make more seasons.
Yeah, they got locked up again in a Mexican prison now. As far as I can tell, the studio Hazelight, they are working on a bigger scale game now.
Oh, cool.
It's still going to... Joseph Fares was basically like, this will still be a very distinctive game from their perspective, but it's just going to be a bit more better funded and maybe longer, and who knows. They say it's still very early on, so we won't see it for the next like 2 or so years.
I'm glad his big words paid off, because he's the dude who's like, this is the best game ever sort of thing. And so not the best game ever, but it wasn't a flop.
No,
which would have been
like,
which would have been a shame. No. Imagine, people take videos out of context.
Joseph, like, fuck the Oscars. Yeah.
God, that guy.
That's him. Yeah, he's great. He's funny.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 won't have crossplay. Guess why?
Because PlayStation.
Because Sony. It's very interesting seeing developers get super candid about this suddenly. Like, after the whole Fortnite thing, like, I'm pretty sure it was happening for a bunch of games, but studios were just saying, hey, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Now, like, people are just like, hey, it's 100% possible. Sony's fucking us over.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what Todd Howard did. He was asked by a German publication whether or not Fallout 76 would have crossplay. And let me get his exact quote, because it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Oh, no.
He said, where's the quote? Basically, he was just like, Fallout 76 is not going to have crossplay. It's not possible right now. Adding, Sony is not as helpful as everyone would like.
Oh, on the nose.
Yes.
But it's not like a tap on the nose. It's like a punch in the face.
Yes. So,
good.
I mean, just like Fortnite, I think Sony is blocking, any sort of discussion to do with crossplay. I think this is very stupid.
Yeah.
I think
from Sony,
yeah,
right?
from Sony.
Yeah.
I think we discussed it last week.
Yeah, we dived into it.
It's just a bit backwards. It's there's a lot of financial reasons why this is a difficult thing to pull off. But when you start looking at Microsoft and Nintendo and PC, just not really caring about where purchases come from, and just looking at the consumer and saying, "Hey, we want you to be able to play." It's a dumb thing for Sony to kind of latch onto, and it screams of their arrogance from the PS3 days.
Well, people must. So we've had Fortnite doing it, and this is Fortnite were like, well, we actually can't do this, but now Todd Howard's like, actually, it's Sony's fault, which is good. More people must do that, and hopefully they'll sit up and like, actually, we're breaking down the walls. It's fine. Let's all be friends and crossplay.
I think at the end of the day, Sony does some calculations, like how many people are actually looking for a crossplay. Like they've got a player base of like 80 million. So, how many of their players are going, this is fucking crap. I can't play with as many people as I like, and then counterbalancing that with, because essentially all this comes down to is royalties. I think in the Fortnite case, like Sony does not want people playing on their console with content they bought on another storefront because it's like, where's their cut?
Yeah.
So they don't want to open up accounts to like people on Xbox or Switch where they may have bought the Battle Pass there, then come into the PlayStation ecosystem and have all their shit there, and Sony's like, well, we got not a single cent from this.
Yeah.
Whereas Microsoft and Nintendo couldn't give a shit, apparently.
I think Sony are just being greedy.
Yeah, and they're probably balancing the book, saying, what is the impact of not allowing players to do this versus the financial impact it will have if we open the gates up, but it just, sure, Microsoft and Sony have a lot to gain from a PR perspective with this sort of thing, as opposed to losing. I don't think Sony has much to actually lose.
No.
And they're just damaging their image now. They just really are. People are looking at them and going,
you're just a big bully.
Yeah, this really sucks. And if I had to buy a game, say Anthem and The Division next year coming out, two very big online games. If those two said, cool, you can play, with your friends on PC and Xbox, but Sony people just play with Sony people, suddenly I'm like, I might get this game not on PlayStation.
I think it's going to hurt them in the long run.
More friends that I know, who will play on PC that I can then play with playing on Xbox, whereas PlayStation is completely cut out.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense. This is the sort of thing that informs purchasing decisions of consoles. In the near future, if Sony refuses to open up these gates, when the next generation of consoles come out, people who focus purely on third-party games, which is the largest majority of people buying consoles. Otherwise, if it wasn't, God of War would have sold 80 million copies. Yeah. God of War sold 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So it sold less than 10% of the console base. People are playing third-party games in this thing. Those are the people going, I'm going to get an Xbox because, hey, I can play with X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Whereas on PlayStation, I can't.
Whatever.
It's arrogant, it's stupid, and I hope they fix it.
I don't know if they will fix it though, because this is Sony who how long have you wanted to change your PlayStation name for I'm just poking fun at you, but a lot. No, how much longer are you gonna have XXX no scope Sandy Barbosa 360
no scope Darth Starkiller
_ no scope 360? I mean, just something like that. Look, I don't know the back end side of it, but I can't imagine it would cost hundreds of millions of dollars to just give people the opportunity to change their name once, let's say. Even some bloody companies, they charge people to change their names.
Yeah, Xbox does that, yeah.
If you want to, so if Sony's no, we don't have the money, we'll make it a possibility and charge people $2 or $5, people will pay. Some people will definitely pay. It's well, if they won't do that, are they really going to commit to this cross-play pressure? I do think it's a case of them being so far ahead that they're just we really don't need to. And we all know what happens to companies like that. Yeah,
we all know who, when, Sony did this with the PlayStation 3, get fucking 2 jobs to afford our console. And then Microsoft did the same thing. It's so strange that they are willing to repeat these mistakes.
Yeah.
And die on this hill that to me doesn't make sense, to consumers doesn't make sense. So, and Sony hasn't given people a compelling reason as to why it makes sense. The last time that they gave a reason, they were we don't want to expose our players to potentially harmful online content. Think of the children. It's
the children, no.
It's Nintendo, the most family-focused platform out there, is nah, fam. This is fine, So Sony's excuses just make them look worse. If they had a really compelling reason that made sense, which Sean Layden, when pressed by this, said they are coming towards a solution that everyone will understand.
I know.
Whatever the fuck that means. Until they have a compelling reason where people go, okay, this is actually an excellent counterpoint. Everyone's just going to look at them and be you'd be
you guys are
the bully.
Silly. Yeah. Anyways, enough on that matter. Jeez, like.
Should we do questions?
Yeah, let's do questions. Let me timestamp this.
We've got a lot of questions.
We are
really appreciative
thank you so
of
much,
all your support.
I think
everyone that listens every week.
Yeah, this is the most we've ever had.
Yeah. If you don't know, you can email us at checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com for some questions. We always put a question out on Fridays on Twitter where you can reply and give us your questions. Or you can be really good friends with Matty and I and have our phone numbers and send us
WhatsApps. like Adrian Barnard. friend him on Facebook.
Yeah. Send all the friend requests.
Here's the thing that I never thought about it, but I mean, we've got the email. And I've never pushed it hard because I'm like, yeah, but people see the tweets and reply to it.
Yeah.
But what came to mind is that, so one of the questions came from Gary. I'll get to his question shortly. He wanted to email because he has like a whole story to tell, that goes with his question. And he can't DM us unless we follow him.
Yes.
Which I just never made that connection. So,
yes. Or you can open your DMs on Twitter now.
Oh, can you? So maybe I should just do that.
Yeah, you can. I have my notes.
But but point is that if you do want to email us, we do check. I check every Friday, and we've never had.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time in a long time we've got questions via email.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like there is that avenue. If you don't have Twitter as well, like just send whatever through. It doesn't have to be. All of them. Someone at work asked me the other day if it has to be serious questions.
No, send.
This is a fun podcast.
This is like one of my favorite parts of the show. I mean, we had Jeff asking something ridiculous in one of our earlier. I can't remember what it was, but we still answered it. Yeah.
We just want to have a chat.
Yeah. Okay, so Gary Dunn. Okay, this is quite a story on email. He says, "Hi guys, Matthew knows me as a random dude on Twitter who always wants to train him for running. True story. I did the Sweater Marathon last year, and Gary very kindly offered a whole lot of helpful advice via Twitter, saying like, do this, don't do this, whatever." So some background for you. He says, "I'm a personal trainer who's always enjoyed gaming, even though I haven't been playing anything other than random mobile games for years. But I've been following Critical Hit since it was Lazy Gamer, and Zoe told me about the site in 2013. I've also always been a comic book fan, even though I've barely read any, but I always wish I had. Now, cosplay and conventions which host cosplay are growing in South Africa. I was recently inspired by Noelle as Lara Croft to help cosplayers train, and just before the weekend the idea struck home, and I've now registered my company and website. So this website will be aimed at cosplayers for individualized training programs for the home or gym to help people build their bodies to suit their characters just as much as the hard work they put into their costumes." Okay, so it's a bit long. I'm just going to go skim through that to the end. He says, "I was also inspired to help train gamers and actually, I will read this. Sorry. Because it is cool. He says, "I was also then inspired to help train gamers and the like who can be a bit shy or low confidence to enter the gym or to do work on their physical health and help them be more confident outside of the office." Okay, here's the question. What do you guys and your listeners think about training to look more accurate for cosplay roles and get ready for conventions and photo shoots?
So, firstly, I don't think you need to be fit to cosplay whatever you want. Just putting that out there because you don't want to stigmatize cosplay and say you can only cosplay this character if you have a six-pack, whatever. I don't give a fuck. However, everyone knows Darren, who writes for Critical Hit, and anyone who follows him on Twitter has been following how much work the dude has been putting in to the gym this year. It's insane. Like, I saw him at E3. He looks like a different person. He's lost a bunch of weight, and he's doing this because he wants to look good in his Batman cosplay.
Yeah.
Like, he constantly tells me that his cosplay is his main motivator to get to the gym and be a healthier, better person.
Yeah.
So I think Gary's idea is fucking awesome.
Yeah, very cool.
Because I think a lot of people, even if you have been to the gym and you work out, you walk into a gym and it's intimidating. Like, you don't know what you want to start. You don't know what you want to do. And also, if you are trying to cosplay a specific character and you want to build a certain type of muscle, you need someone to kind of coach you through that.
Yeah.
Gary, being a gamer,
and a personal trainer,
understands both sides of these things. And like you said, some people are shy and a bit reserved and whatever. So someone who understands the reasoning of cosplay and won't you don't want to go to a personal trainer and they're like, "Why you want to get fit?" And you're like, "Because I want to dress up as someone and go to Comic-Con." That person might not understand the the special reasoning, how important that is to you, and you might feel uncomfortable around them. So I think Gary's idea is fucking cool.
I think it's very cool as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely understand. So, like Alessandro said, you don't have to be whatever body type to cosplay as anyone. Whatever you look like. I mean, we've seen how many awesome like gender bend cosplays, for example. You don't even have to be the same gender.
Yeah,
just if you have if you love a character, dress up as them. But if you do want to get, into a certain physique, whatever, then by all means, I think working out and generally I run. I don't run because I want to, I want to have like legs like Leonardus from 300 or whatever. I run because just outsmart and kick people all day. But I do enjoy running, and what happens is that it just happens to be a healthy habit, and it's made me a lot happier. So I'll promote exercise. Like I don't like gym personally, but
exercise is great.
Physical exercise is great. Yeah,
is good. Like as I drink my Red Bull, and eat jelly babies.
But you hit the gym this week, so it's fine.
I hit the gym this week.
It's fine.
But yeah, like feeling healthier, it just helps you feel happier. And sometimes people need a push. So like, if you're a cosplayer and you're like, I'm going to use this as my motivation to get in better shape. It doesn't matter what age you are. Who you are, how long it's been since the last time you lifted a weight, like it doesn't fucking matter. So what's his Twitter handle?
Yeah, I'll give you his email as well.
Okay.
So it's Gary Dunn, GaryDunn .ptrainer. So literally the letter P and then trainer.
Personal trainer?
Personal trainer, but PTRAINER. Thank you. I didn't even make that connection. I'm like, what does P-trainer mean? at gmail.com. So it's GaryDunn.ptrainer@gmail.com.
And he's
his
Twitter. On Twitter, I think he's Gary Dunn Run, I think, or something like that. I follow him on Strava. I can look it up very quickly. He does a bunch of runs that make me look like a child. Like he's super good.
Okay, you're completely wrong. His Twitter handle is at Gaz GAZZD458.
Oh fuck!
You completely.
Wow.
No, but you're not wrong. His name on Twitter is Gary Dunn Run Fit.
Oh, okay. That's where I'm getting it
so
from.
If you are interested in that, hit him up.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken,
he actually did leave I don't know if his website's live yet.
If I'm not mistaken, he's somewhere in Fourways.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I don't know if the website's live, but bookmark it. It's geekphysique.co.za. I like the name. That's cool.
It's a good one.
Nice. Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Geek Physique.
So it's a cool initiative, and I think having someone that touches on like gym and gaming is a good it's a good balance, because they will understand the need to get fit for dressing up in cosplay.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that question. That was great. Yeah. Okay, so our next email comes from, is this Zane Musa?
Zane Musa, yes.
He says, "Hey guys, first off, I have to say, amazing podcast." Stop it.
You.
I love the insight and passion you both bring to the local video game community here in South Africa. Alessandra's blushing now.
The red right.
Says, my question is to both of you. With video games being a part of your everyday lives and it being obvious that you both eat, play, and love video games, have either of you ever suffered from video game fatigue before, and how did you deal with it? That's a great question.
It's a good question, because it's something I suffer with a lot.
Oh, do you have video game fatigue?
Yeah, constantly. Like, I'm now reviewing games for 2 different outlets, so like, it's very rare that I have time to play a game. Yeah. And then when I do have time, to play a game that is not for work, essentially. So there's this distinction, like people like, you are playing games for review that should be fun. It's like, yes, playing great games for review is always super fun, but it's also like, I have to play this game.
Yeah,
like, I don't have a choice. I have to play this game now, and I have this time frame in which I need to complete it. It's pressure. It's a job. So I recently get very little time to play games that I want. And even when I do, I find it very hard to drag myself to play a game, because I'm like, that's what I was doing last night, and it feels like work.
Yeah.
So that's where the fatigue comes in. It's like, that's why I've been watching a lot more series lately, because it's just a difference. It's just something else to do to switch my brain off. I don't know I don't know a method for overcoming it. I think it's just like a thing, like, I guess me watching series is a way of overcoming it, like actually taking a break from games for a little bit. Not feeling like you need to play games because you have free time is a mindset I've had to get myself into. And also coming to the realization that every game that I play, I don't need to finish.
Yeah, I think that's a big one.
I used to be in that mindset, like, if I'm playing this game, I need to see it through. Like, stop that shit.
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying a game 1-2 hours in and you feel like you're wasting your time, drop it, start something else. There's no reason you need to feel obliged to play a game unless maybe you spent a lot of money on it and you want to get your money's worth, fine. But I've been a lot happier now that I'm able to drop games that I just haven't been enjoying, even if they are good games. And maybe I'll return to them later. Like, I played 3 hours of Nier Automata, and I know it's very good, but the first 3 hours didn't grab me that much. And I haven't picked it up since, and I'll get to it eventually, maybe. But right now, in my mind space, I don't feel like I want to play it. What are your kind of thoughts on this?
I don't know. I think with me, it's not that I've had fatigue. I just found I've lost a bit of the... Like, it takes a lot for a game to wow me now.
Okay.
So remember, like, growing up as a kid, you would play a game like, this is the best thing ever, and you spend hour upon hour upon hour playing it. But there's very few games now that... So the God of War is a recent example where I played. I was like, I actually don't want to play it because I don't want to finish it. Okay. So I have a lot less of that. But I don't know if that's really fatigue, because I still play games and I enjoy them. And I think what helps is that I'm not a fussy gamer at all. Like, I'm happy to jump around genres and different publishers and developers. And like, if I had to play shooters, for example, again and again and again and again, I'd get over it. And in fact, speaking of that, I haven't really played a shooter for ages because I think maybe I was a bit fatigued. So last one I played was probably Overwatch, I guess, and a bit of PUBG. I know Fortnite's not really a shooter to me. It is, but it's not really. But it's different enough that I'm enjoying it. But I play JRPGs, I play platformers, Metroidvanias, shooters, and I find that just bouncing between them, it's always something a bit different. Whereas I think if you stick to a genre, you might just get over it, a lot quicker. I think it helps as well. I mean, explore. Some of my best gaming experiences have been from games that I know nothing about, where I'm like, oh, cool, like, this game's getting a lot of hype and a lot of friends are loving it. I've never watched a trailer, anything. I buy it on a whim and I love it. I think, like, one that comes to mind is Risk of Rain. I don't know why I bought it.
Game, yeah.
Like, I honestly don't know if someone maybe it was Garth or someone recommended it, said like, this game's really cool. And I had never watched.
Addicted to
I know. I never watched any
crazy.
Trailers, nothing. And I played the game. I was like, this game is really cool. And the same applies to me with movies, for example. The less I know about something going in, the more I tend to enjoy it. So I think just experimenting and getting out of your comfort zone maybe also helps. Like, for me, it does.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think, fatigue is really easy nowadays because every single game wants to be some sort of massive open world 40-hour experience.
Yeah.
And that fatigues me. Like, hell no, fuck no, I do not want to play. Like, as soon as I've finished a game like that, dive into another one.
Yeah.
I think that's why I've also gravitated lately towards shorter experiences. Like, I played Florence on the plane, which is great. I'm playing a lot of Lumines now because it's like short stints. And those, like, those kind of like reset your brain and get you ready for another long game. Like, yesterday I started playing The Witcher 3 again because I've been dying to play that game again. And now that I've taken a significant enough break from, it's been like a month and a half since I played God of War, which was another massive game. Like, I feel ready to have another long game.
I'm the same. Also try to break up those longer games with some shorter
and try new things, like you said, like things that you look at and say, I don't know if I'd actually like this. I don't expect it to. And I know it's a financial decision at that point as well, but if you have the means to, it's a good thing to kind of shake things up. Like you never know what you find, and it breaks that fatigue immediately.
But even from a financial point of view, I mean, there's a reason I'm stuck in like a time capsule 5 years where I'm playing all these older games now, because if I see a game I like, I'm like, I can't actually afford that now. I just add it to my wish list. And then maybe later on I'm like, I want something to play. Oh, this is on sale. And I pick it up and I play it. But I mean, sorry, I was thinking about it. I'm like, I have actually fatigued. I mean, if anyone knows me from 2-3 years ago, I was addicted to MOBAs where I played Dota 2, I played Heroes of the Storm, I played League of Legends, and I actually hit a point where like, I can't play these games anymore. And what I do, I just stop playing them, and I'm happy. Like, I'm playing a whole lot of other games now, and that fatigue is gone, and I'm just enjoying a whole lot of other genres. Will I go back? Yeah, maybe I'll play a bit of Heroes of the Storm, Dota, but it's a matter of just getting out of a stagnant space and moving on to other games if you find that you are in that space to begin with. So
that's a good question. And,
that's my 2 cents.
It's different for everyone, but thanks for the questions then.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let me hop over to Twitter here. All of these questions to get to. So here's one from Wu-Tang Dan. I love the name.
Dan used to work with me. He's a good guy.
Is he mates with you?
Used to work at the same company, yeah.
Okay, it says, can you make it a recurring thing that Matthew drops the mic at opportune moments? Well,
yes,
just so you know.
And then we'll have to buy a new microphone.
Literally on last week's episode, my mic fell over. I didn't touch it. I didn't do anything. It just fell over. So I don't know what happened.
Balancing it badly there.
I don't know. You set it up, so it's your fault.
Don't bring this on me. Don't blame me.
And then he says, can you add more dogs to the podcast? I actually can't. And there are times when Alessandra's dogs are barking, and I'm going, oh my God, people are going to hear these dogs barking on the podcast.
Yeah, thank God we've got more dynamic mics and not condenser mics.
Jeez, like sometimes the dogs are just like barking, someone walking past together. I'm like, whoa.
Well, I think in just the space of this podcast, we've had the same dog walk in and out my room about 5 times.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we left the door open today, so they didn't disturb us. But even before we started recording, Ziga was at the door just asking to be let out.
Hey, let me in so I can walk out.
No.
I learned.
We should get a dog on the podcast one day. We'll figure it out one day.
We'll
talk about Nintendogs.
Whoa, when's that Switch game?
Can't wait. Love it.
Nintendogs. That is the best name ever. I just want to put it out there.
Nintendogs. Good Lord.
Okay, so Brandon Wolf, who you work with, says,
yes.
When are video games going to be banned? Please, tomorrow. They are so bad.
Tomorrow. They're being banned tomorrow. There's a mandate at the Congress right now of Video Games Global.
Headed by Gabe Newell and Jeff Kaplan.
Yeah, they sick of games. Yeah. They're just going to hit the desk with a mallet and game's done.
To be honest, Valve they've already banned games. They only make hats now, so
yeah, it's true. So essentially, Gabe Newell banned games.
He's banned games, long. Yeah. I mean,
Steam's doing its fucking best to try and bury good games on Steam at the moment. So
there you have it. It's already happened.
It's the revolution is upon us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, will that ever happen?
Good Lord.
No, that sounds like a dark time.
What did we talk about?
The weather.
The weather. Okay, yeah,
it's so cold. The Nick DeBray, another friend of the show, also the guy who put together a really awesome logo.
Yes.
He asks, he says, I'm flying to Europe soon and I'm hoping to make good use of my Switch on the plane and in airports, etc. Mm-hmm. What advice do you have from recent travels regarding trying to game over long trips, things like charging or planes that might not allow certain devices and so on?
So, has that travel ban been lifted? Yeah, as far as I know, the device thing doesn't exist anymore. It was only last year, which was fucking horrible. I must be honest, I don't play a lot of Switch on the plane.
No.
Mainly because when I'm on a plane, I'm uncomfortable already. So the last thing on my mind is settling into a game that I can play for hours at a time because I just don't feel comfortable. So I played like Florence on the plane and I played like 1 or 2 hours of Hollow Knight, but usually I settle into movies and stuff. But if you're playing on the plane, the Switch is good. Most planes have like a USB port or a plug, so you can usually charge your devices on there.
But I don't know if you can charge them while you're playing, unless it's like
I don't know. If it's a high-powered one or whatever. You got to be careful of that, especially with the Switch, because you don't want to fuck up the battery.
Yeah.
So, but I bought a power bank.
Yeah, likewise.
As well. There's loads and loads of articles online where you can see what amperage your power bank needs to be so that it doesn't damage the Switch. And like, to be honest, most power banks are fine with it. So you just need to grab a USB-A to USB-C cable, which comes with a Pro controller anyway. And then you can just juice up your Switch whenever you want.
And the one thing I know that's easy to remember is that so most power banks, their output is 1 amp, which is not nearly enough for the Switch.
I think you need a 2.5.
Even if the Switch is off and you try to charge to 1 amp, you'll get like 10% in an hour.
You'll actually end up, the Switch will do a thing where it will actually start charging the power bank.
What? Really?
This happens, So if you try charge your Switch on a MacBook, this is exactly what happens. Like USB to USB-C, it doesn't understand which way you're trying to charge it, so the Switch will start charging the MacBook.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
And the 1 amp is no go. It's 2.1 amp minimum.
Yeah, 2.1 amp minimum. That's right. Yeah.
And that you can actually play on your Switch and charge. Like, it's not going to charge very fast, but you can still do it. And when your Switch is off, it'll charge. Because
essentially,
normally.
The Switch is just trying to draw a certain amperage, and it will damage itself when it's drawing too little from a device. So like if your thing has a 2.5 amp port, it doesn't mean like, oh, you're going to destroy your switch. It just means no, it's going to pull the correct amount of amperage from the device and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, I think also for traveling, just in terms of game selection, again, this is a personal preference, but I enjoy games that I can play like repetitively.
Stints, yeah.
Like I remember when we went to E3 together, you played Risk of Rain and I played Crash Team Racing. Because it was like, I play a race, I play another race, it's just racing.
Wait.
You know what I mean?
This was on your Vita that you sold.
Yeah, I 100% did Crash Team Racing on the flight to the US. Oh, no. It was a good time. Like, I don't play like Zelda or Mario. I'd rather play Lumines while I'm flying. Or something, you know, short and contained, because I might only play it for an hour, feel really uncomfortable, or they bring you fucking food on the flight, you know, disrupts you. Yeah, that's essentially... What I did play on the plane, though, was Pokemon Y, because I'm trying to get into Pokemon before the core one comes out next year. And Darren suggested Pokemon Y was a good starting point, and it was really good. Like, even though that's an RPG, it was like one that I could play a bit of an area, catch a few Pokemon, close the 3DS, put it away, you know, whatever. So I don't know, maybe use it as a time to try new games.
I've never, on that Pokemon WoW, when you said I played Pokemon WoW, I thought you were asking a question.
Oh, no.
I was like,
this is Pokemon X and Y.
I was like, are you asking me?
No. Pokemon X and Y.
I was like, I played Pokemon Y. I was like, I don't know. You chose to play it, wasn't me. I found with me, I'm not to say that you're a fussy gamer, but for me, like, I'm really not picky with that sort of thing. I'll play, so perfect example, that 1 year at E3, I played Risk of Rain, which is a perfect sort of short stint game, because you can last... a lot of
short runs.
You can, a run can last 10 minutes to like an hour and a half, depending how long.
Matty used to swear behind me.
Oh my God, the number of times I died.
Just like end a run prematurely.
Yeah, so I played a game like that where you can, it's very quick, you know, little stints, whatever. But then Symphony of the Night, which I mentioned earlier, I've really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I strongly recall, or I have memories of playing that for long hours on a plane. I started that game on a plane and I played it for hours upon hours and I loved it. I don't think I watched movies on that flight. I still slept, but like, I was okay to play a game like that and no issue. So I don't know, but I agree with you. Maybe it's a sort of platform you want to try games that you might not like. When you're at home, I know what it's like. You might have a lot of games. You're like, I don't feel like playing any of these new games, whatever. Maybe the plane's the right place to do that. You're like, well, I would never normally play this, but what am I doing? I'm on a steel tube on the way to X country. Let me try something else. So
I did have a fun time last year, because the Switch had kind of just launched, and David from SA Gamer and David, who formerly from SA Gamer, they all had their Switches there as well. And we'd play Mario Kart multiplayer in like the terminals while we were waiting for layovers, which was really fun. And if the plane allows you to turn on the Wi-Fi on the plane, which is actually pretty, you know, it's kind of frequent now. They've kind of relaxed on like online devices on planes a bit. You can set up a local network and play some Mario Kart online with someone else who has a Switch or whatever. And that was fucking fun, like waiting at a terminal gate and us just sitting in a circle playing Mario Kart tournaments. Was really fun.
The Switch ads came to life, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys all Karen.
We're all Karen in the airport.
Karen. Yeah, I think this is the last question. Oh, this comes from Brendan. It says, did you buy anything on the Steam summer sale? And following on from that, have Steam sales lost their mojo? Like, they just don't feel as eventful anymore, at least to me. And I agree. I didn't buy a single thing.
I didn't even log on.
I don't think I've actually bought a thing on Steam since they've changed the format of their Steam sales.
Exactly
where it was exciting. It was like...
You had to log on every day to see the flash sale for that day.
So previously it was... And even though they rotated and some sales recurred or whatever, it was still exciting. Like, oh, there's... whole lot of new games in 8 hours. I'm going to keep an eye out. Oh, that game's on sale. Cool. Like, I wouldn't have bought it at full price. Let me grab it now.
Yeah,
or it's on my wish list. So for those who don't know what Steam's done now, they don't do that anymore. There's no flash sales. When it's a Steam summer sale, they just... everything gets discounted. Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with, but there's no like excitement anymore. I don't know.
And it doesn't surface games to you in the same way. Like, every day you look through the homepage and you'd be like, oh, I've totally forgot about that game. Like, oh, it's so cheap. I'll grab it now.
Yeah. Whereas now, But I
Now you
check.
still have to dig for your
Yeah,
fucking
you
games.
dig, but I check my wish list. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like I don't need to buy anything. I don't know if that's because of the Steam sale or me. I'm just like,
To me, I think it's a combination.
Or,
Yeah, that exactly. Like
Yeah.
it's a combination of the Steam sales as an event of far less exciting.
Yeah.
I remember, having the Steam app on my phone at 7 p.m. every night.
Me
when the
too,
thing
yeah.
refresh, just like looking
clockwork.
through you just look through the sales. So that event aspect is gone. But I also just have so many games on Steam I haven't touched that, like the idea that there's nothing on Steam that I'm like waiting to buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the sale doesn't appeal to me at all. But I do think as an event, it's definitely like it's lost its allure completely.
Yeah.
It's not just you, Brent.
I think they should
But
go.
I didn't buy a thing this year.
I didn't buy this, and I don't think I bought anything last year. So, man, too much shit to keep me busy. And that's
Thank you.
it.
Thank you for all the questions.
Yeah.
That was lovely. Again,
was
checkpointchatpodcast@gmail.com or you
at
can tweet at us at
Checkpoint
checkpoint chat.
I'll open up the DMs.
Yeah,
I'll
you can
figure it out how to do
we'll
it.
open up the DMs on
Right now.
the account if you really want to DM and not like have your question public. That's fine.
Please don't send us dick pics.
You can send anonymous questions if you really want to as well.
Yeah, if
just
there's-
ask if you want to be anonymous.
Yeah,
in the
I'm
email.
happy to do that.
Yeah, if you want to ask contentious questions,
Whoa,
Yeah,
who said
exactly.
this question? I know exactly who it was. I'll rat you out.
But that's been episode 14.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah, wait, before we go, please do not, if you guys like what you hear, please do not be shy to leave us reviews.
Yes.
Can I just tell you, we've received 2 reviews on Apple Podcasts, and it's not like great, like 2 whole reviews, but I read them and like my little heart warms up. I'm like, oh,
Do you
people
want
do
Matty
love
to be
us.
happy? Leave a
Yes, leave a review if you want to. I don't have a gun to your head or anything.
review. And we are on more platforms. I need to update the.
Oh my gosh, Google Cast or something?
Yeah,
is
we're
that
on
now?
Google Podcasts now,
Oh my
which isn't
gosh.
available locally, but if you're listening from somewhere else that does support it, it's there. Like, I think the only podcast platform that we aren't on at the moment is Spotify. Or at least one that I know of, because all the ones I know of, we're on
We're on
there.
everything.
Everything. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Overcast, RSS feeds, Google Podcasts, what's the other one? Pocket Casts, fucking
And Overcast.
things I don't
and all
even
these
know.
things.
Like, and it seems most people are listening via iTunes and Apple Podcasts and through their own apps with their RSS feed. So that's great. Also, don't feel bad if you're not paying
Cash monies.
Yeah, because I know some of the services require subscription, and I know some people have asked me like, does that money go to you? Should I be paying for your podcast? No. We get no money.
It's free.
I don't care where the hell you listen to this podcast as long as you listen because you're lovely.
Just be like Skyrim. Listen to it on your printer,
On your Amazon.
on your toilet.
Yes, on your smart
Sorry,
toilet.
that was actually
That was a
smart
news story.
toilet. Why?
Crazy.
Why Skyrim? Why you do
It's
this?
fun. You can take a shit while playing a shit game.
Oh.
And on that note,
Bye, Felicia.
thank you for listening to Checkpoint Chat. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.